this video is maybe a little bit encouragement or motivation or just words of advice for people out there who are doing one thing but wish they were doing something else. This is very common in any creative industry, but specifically in video. A lot of times you'll have people who wish they were making movies, or wish they were doing music videos, or wish they were doing wedding highlight videos. Whatever the thing is, you think about yourself. What do you wish that you were doing? And then take a step back and say, are you actually doing the thing that you wish you were doing? Not the final destination of where you want to go, where it's huge budget movies or it's really expensive wedding films, or, the end goal, but like, are you doing the bare fundamentals of that particular activity? Let's take music videos, for example. If you want to be a music video director or shooter or anything related to music videos, are you currently working on music videos? Because the thing is, if you're not currently working on music videos, you're likely not going to end up down that path of working on music videos. It's kind of common sense, but I think a lot of people don't actually put it into practice. They find that certain activities or certain jobs pay the bills. So maybe it's corporate video, or maybe it's documentaries or testimonials, or certain work pays the bills, and you do that, and then you keep doing more of that. It's almost like a self-fulfilling thing, right? So if you want to break into a new industry, what you have to do is you have to start small, but you have to start doing something that's the beginning of that new thing. And that can be very difficult, especially if you're doing something like corporate video and you've gotten very, very good at doing corporate video and you want to go do short film or music videos. You kind of have to start over in a lot of senses, because how often are you going to go to somebody and say, hey, I want to shoot your music video. It's going to cost, $100,000, right? I want to shoot your music video for $100,000. And they'll say, okay, well, great. What other music videos have you done? You say, I haven't done any music videos. I've only done corporate videos. Well, corporate video is hardly ever going to represent what you could do with a music video, and I doubt you're going to get that $100,000 deal. It's just not going to happen because you don't have any proof that you're capable of delivering a $100,000 music video, because all you've been doing is corporate videos. Now, if you are really good at doing corporate videos and you say, it's a $100,000 corporate video, and you have other corporate videos that look like they're $100,000, well, great, you'll probably get that job. So you have to start small, and oftentimes that's working for free, or just working for very little pay, doing something for a friend, doing something for fun often is a good way to get into it, because then what you can do is you can use that to get to that next step up. It's very much like a staircase or a ladder, where you're doing one step or one rung of the ladder at a time to get to that next level. And if every step along the way you do better and better work, higher and higher quality, that can help push you up to that next level. But when you're doing that, the advice I would give you is that do the absolute very best that you can do with the restrictions or the constraints of the project. And that can be really challenging, especially if it's a situation, let's take the music video situation, where you're starting off, you want to start doing music videos, so you've listened to this video and you say, okay, I'm going to do music videos and I'm going to do one for a friend for free. Well, that's not an excuse to have that video be low quality, because a low quality video is not going to get you more work. And if it's for a sample, for potentially more work in the future, it needs to be its absolute best. And you'll say, well, that's very difficult because I don't have any budget. It's totally free. So what you can do, though, is make sure that the idea doesn't need a big budget. And whatever that idea is, you do it to its maximum potential of what you're capable of doing. And sometimes it might be limited by your skill set. Sometimes that will be limited by budget. But you can't use the low budget nature or the fact that it's just for a friend or something as an excuse to deliver low quality work, because that's ultimately not going to pay off for where you want to go. Same thing for short films or testimonials or anything. There are some very difficult constraints and restrictions that get put on a lot of different projects. But within those constraints, you have to deliver your absolute best, because whether it's for that client, that client, if they see that you can do really great work, well, they're going to entrust you with more work of that same caliber or potentially greater. Same thing if you're presenting that work to another client. It's very difficult to present all the excuses that go along with it. There's a phrase, we talked about in film school where it's, what's on the screen is what's on the screen. You can't just have a scene of total black because you didn't have budget to film that and put a, text disclaimer on screen like, we ran out of budget, so this scene doesn't exist, but here's what happens. You can't do that. No audience is going to take you seriously and accept that. They're going to say, I paid for a film and I got half of a film, and they're a terrible director. Even if the rest of it's great, you can't just omit things and try and excuse it away, or deliver low quality work and, put a disclaimer on all of your footage saying, I did this for free, so that's why it looks this way. That doesn't fly. You might be able to do that behind the scenes with other people when you're sharing it with them, but on a mass audience, or for when you're putting on your website as part of your reel or your portfolio, you can't always use all those excuses. So just keep that in mind. If you want to get into a particular industry, you've got to start somewhere in that industry. And maybe you can start a little higher if you know a friend or you have a good connection. But oftentimes it's starting from scratch, and that can be difficult. But that's why if you do it earlier rather than later, that's really great. And if you know where you want to go, you want to do movies, you want to do music videos, then start as soon as possible. That's why I said this is kind of a motivation video or encouragement. Look about where you want to go. Maybe it's already in your industry, and then all you have to worry about is focusing on the quality, making sure it's its absolute best given those constraints. Or if it's a different industry, a different type, genre of video production, or really any kind of creative process. Like I said, this applies to all creatives. It's not just video. It can be for photography, it can be for graphic design, web design, anything. Whatever you want to be doing, do that. Do it at its smallest base stage, but deliver the absolute best quality you can at that stage, and hopefully that will move you forward. I know it's worked for me, and it's worked for a lot of people around me that I've seen them do similar things. Once you get on a certain path, you tend to kind of stay on that path. If you don't like the path you're on, shift to something else.